What the fuck?
Eat the rich! Eat the rich!
Okay, I'm not even kidding. I feel like they got more people showing up to the Luigi Mangione arraignment than they did for the Trump trial, dude. Trump couldn't even get this many people outside of the fucking courthouse. And this is just for the arraignment. Once this shit starts moving, oh my lord, dude. Oh my lord. Oh my lord.
Eat the rich! 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 Eat the rich!
4602?
Yeah, that was also in the summer too, when it's like much easier to just stand outside the courtroom. New York Post claiming Mangione smiled as he entered the courtroom. False. He was pictured smiling while signing documents at the end of the hearing. Public section was also racially very diverse. A reporter remarked that more people showed up in support of Mangione than Trump. See? I'm telling you, dude. There's more supporters than Kamala voters. I wonder why. And I can't stress this enough. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is an issue that transcends beyond political allegiances. It transcends beyond identity politics. It is far more consequential for Americans. They see this as violence being dished out by the systems against their own immediate family members. Americans have no systemic analysis. Americans have no class consciousness, and Americans are deeply selfish. But because the for-profit healthcare industry is so expansive and so harmful that it has universalized the harm for each and every American. That's why I say even other CEOs are like, yeah, I don't know. It ain't that bad. I'm not that mad. You know what I mean? It's something that has basically streamlined the harm to such a degree, universalized that pain by impacting virtually every single American, that they can comprehend this is a very different situation than how they would normally react if like some guy killed another person in broad fucking daylight. America is a very draconian nation. I'm telling you this in all of my years of doing political commentary, as someone who believes in rehabilitation over incarceration, as someone who believes that America has to change its trajectory on the way we dish out punishment for crimes. This is an area where I probably get the most resistance, even from progressive-minded Americans. This and gun control are the two things that even leftist, quote unquote, leftist Americans cannot understand. They're like, what are you talking about? We have to kill every criminal. So even in that like mindset that many Americans have, they can still recognize who is responsible for more deaths than Luigi Mangione in this situation. And they see it as the CEO. You cannot hide this harm under the systemic structures. You cannot hide it by saying, well, it's just like, you don't have to be a radical communist to be upset at healthcare, you know? Staying on the message of broad audience positive reception that is frustrating people in positions of power, Luigi Mangione was featured on SNL once again. Now remember, last time he was featured on SNL, they were making a joke about how like he went to Starbucks and he went to McDonald's, even though he hates corporations or whatever. But this week, SNL had another feature for Luigi Mangione, and the audience was broadly positive.
Luigi Mangione dropped... Yeah, definitely woo. You're woo.
Colin Jost feeling uncomfortable as the SNL libbed up audience is cheering for Luigi Mangione is so funny. Don't look upset, man.
Wooing for justice, right? Luigi Mangione dropped his extradition fight and was flown from Pennsylvania to New York to face multiple charges. In related news, Bumble exploded.
I think he's joking, because why would he joke about him being hot? It could be. It is part of the bit, I think. The immediate follow-up joke is him joking about how he's hot. Yeah, okay. That's fair.
All righty. In a shocking new poll, none of this is worth laughing at. 41% of 18 to 29-year-olds find the killing of Thompson to be acceptable.
He's accused of first-degree murder. I mean, this, if true, I mean, we saw the video, and it's so dehumanizing to say, oh, this is acceptable in any way, shape, or form. This person was murdered. He had a wife, he had kids, he had a family. Nobody deserves to be shot and killed. Based on your looks, it's okay? I mean, it's absurd.
Yeah, they're trying to reduce it down to his looks. Like, oh, it's just his looks. It's just that's what it is, you know? Oh, this guy had a family. Yeah, who doesn't have a family? You know what I mean? Brian Thompson had a family. How dare they do this? Is like not gonna get a lot of motion, I think. Don't you agree that the feds have an incentive to find a guy to pin the crime on, and given lots of evidence around Luigi doesn't make sense? He really is a patsy. This guy only cares about how Luigi Mangione is a patsy. No, man, I don't think it smells that weird. I don't know why people can't just like look at a thing and be like, okay, maybe all the evidence that we've seen it fits. You don't have to always find some grand narrative, all right?
It is scary to me that somehow the younger generation is not able to distinguish the difference between, say,
You're literally ignoring the evidence and imagining a grand narrative with Jeffrey Epstein, by the way. Oh my God, this is the one OG chatter I have who always goes with Jeffrey Epstein actually did kill himself. Yeah, you're right, dude. Ignoring the evidence? The f do you mean? The mysterious ways in which the camera shut off in the process where he died? Yeah, dude, so much evidence to suggest that a guy who had an endless amount of blackmail material on some of the wealthiest and strong. Oh my God. My dad is lighting a fire in the house right now. He's cooking.
Yeah, and David, we've seen over at least 5 years, perhaps 10, but certainly targeting Trump, this dehumanizing of people with whom you disagree. That we've moved to such a point where if you have sole possession of the truth, as the left believes, then people who disagree with you must be evil, and murder becomes one of the tools in the box.
It becomes acceptable as they would like to promote it. One, I do disagree with the poll, because I look, if you go around this country, I don't think most young people are there. Sadly, it carries a bigger megaphone.
The dehumanization of CEOs must stop. Very, very scary. Yeah, from the people that brought you, child murder is appropriate when it's Israel doing it to Gaza. Or from the people that brought you, you can murder as many people as you want as long as they're like homeless and black. From the people that brought you, once again, murder is perfectly fine and awesome if it's done against our enemies. And their enemies, by the way, the enemies of this guy were people that were staging a climate change protest on a road. Is now he took the life of a dad who did nothing and has zero remorse. This is your hero. 16,000 likes. No veins, no bulging, no red face, no yelling. This is not anger. This is fatigue. It's just like these guys do not have, make no mistake, they do not have issue with vigilante justice or murder, as a matter of fact. They just have issue with who the target was. And yes, every single quote unquote populist right winger at the end of the day, every single quote unquote right winger is still always going to go back to the primary directive, which is protect the CEOs, protect corporations. And that's precisely what they're doing here at Fox News as well. They're trying to tug on the American sensibilities of crime and punishment. Lolo has shares my same concern, increasingly feeling that Mangione will get into custody or take his own life, in air quotes, because if there's even a 1% chance that he could get off, which there certainly is, cannot even describe how bad that would be for the ruling class. Yeah, if you make money, it makes sense on why they would defend a CEO. I mean, you have to remember, they make money defending CEOs. That's why I said it's their primary directive. They make money at the behest of getting your attention to shift away from those who actually cause harm in American society. Their job is to keep you attentive on the appropriate vectors, those who have been declared appropriate by the capital owners, people who are otherwise powerless. In a moment like this, when people forget about, law and order, when they're making corridos about Luigi Mangione, when there's a lot of support for the action or for Luigi Mangione in general because of who the victim is, the job of right-wingers becomes glaringly obvious for those who even have a little bit of critical thinking skills. Check the comments. Stop dividing us. It's both Dems and Republicans. Healthcare doesn't have political boundaries. I love how they're trying to make this a political belief thing when it's simply a class issue, not a political one. It's time for working class to come together. The news is against you. It's about class, not left and right. Using the Bugs live speech over this Luigi Mangione edit was so real, actually.
Let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line.
God damn. We should do a Bugs Life watch party. If I remember correctly from my childhood, it's like a communist manifesto, isn't it? All right, let's hear about jury nullification in
Whether
Luigi
I feel
Mangione.
sympathetic or not.
Very disturbing breaking news out of New York City for you right now. CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson.
Police in Pennsylvania today arrested a person of interest in the killing, 26-year-old Luigi Mangione.
How hard do you think it's going to be